On NIO Day, NIO announced something that is worth trillions of dollars, and I was completely blown away by it. And this is, of course, NIO's new chip, aka the God chip. Literally, in Chinese, it's called Shinji, which translates to God. The English name, NX9031. It is a 5 nanometer chip with 50 plus billion transistors. And to give you some context, the best chip in China so far is only 7 nanometers made by Huawei. So this is 2 generations ahead of Huawei, which is just completely mind-blowing, man. What? Holy crap. We got God in our cars now, man. Damn. So, a few more details about this chip which will absolutely blow you away. 32 core CPU. It's got the fastest LPDDR5X memory, supports a large number of parallel calculations of real-time tasks such as sensing, computing, and group artificial intelligence. Wow. Self-developed image signal processor ISP with the industry's first all AI automatic adjustment parameter with 6.5 billion pixels per second in processing capability. All right, the processing capacity massively improves perception accuracy. Now the ET9 has 3 lidars, 1 on the top, 2 on the sides, and combined with 2 high resolution cameras on the sides, A pillars. So there's a lot of data to be processed. So of course, you need a chip that's very, very powerful. Now, if you look at the performance compared to the industry flagship, the best BEV class compared to this chip is 4.3 times faster. Crazy. Compared to the best transformer class, this is 6.5 times faster. And compared to LiDAR point cloud, it is 4 times faster. And one of these chips is equivalent to 4 Orin X chips. That's right, you heard me right. One chip is equal to 4 Orin X chips. That is insane. It also features ultra low power consumption, wake up on demand, milliwatt level power consumption, and microsecond level dynamic wake up. So you can activate it instantly. There's no delay, basically. It has a native security design, and the best part, you ready for this? There's 2 chips. Every ET9 comes with 2 of these chips, one as the main chip and one as a backup chip in case, just for redundancy purposes. The backup chip can be activated in milliseconds as well. So you got 2 God chips inside your car. Next time you're driving the ET9, you'll be like, hey, what chip you got in your car? I got God chip in my car. I got 2 Gods in my car. Damn. This is next level stuff. And of course, this is going to propel NIO to the next echelon of being a tech company in general, with the likes of NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, and Apple. And NIO sees Apple as one of their biggest competitors. And NIO is working towards that. We already got the NIO phone, we got the NIO car, soon NIO tablet, other NIO stuff like NIO smartwatches, they're all coming. You got a whole ecosystem with their self-made chips as well. This is absolutely groundbreaking because 5 nanometers, that's crazy. And China is all about those chips because after the sanctions from the US, the president here in China really wants to push forward chip development. So this thing right here, these chips, all right, it ensures that the government, China, will absolutely love NIO. And they will protect NIO at all costs and nurture NIO at all costs. Give NIO whatever they want, whatever policy, shape it to help NIO because NIO is the darling of China now. This is also going to massively help with sales because of the fact that right now a lot of competitors are using the fact that they have 1 Orin X chip. NIO's NT 2.0 vehicles have 4 Orin X chips, but then in their advertising, they say that, NIO's ES6 has Orin X, our processor is also Orin X, but NIO has 4. They don't mention that. So they're telling the consumers that, hey, we got the same chips, even though NIO has 4 of them. But we're gonna leave that detail out so that people think, oh, they're charging so much more, but we have the same chip. That ain't gonna happen anymore. They can say, oh, we got Orin X, but now NIO has the God chip inside. And don't worry, these chips are eventually gonna come to all NIOs across all the platforms. Every single feature that you saw on the ET9, right, that's going to come gradually to all the existing models in future iterations of the car. Now, the biggest question, all right, and this question determines whether this is worth $1 trillion or $2 trillion or $3 trillion. And that question is, of course, who is manufacturing these chips? Is it NIO themselves, or are they outsourcing manufacturing to somebody else? Okay, this is a very important question. Now, I tried to pry NIO's PR department about this. I asked them continuously, whoa, who's making these chips? And they would not tell me, all right? And I'm also asking some people in the know about this chip. And if I get further information, I'll let you guys know. Most likely scenario is that they're outsourcing manufacturing to SMIC. And just to be very clear, there aren't that many car companies out there making their own chips. All right, NIO is one of the few exceptions. And of course, with this, NIO is moving towards a place where everything is eventually self-developed and optimized to the max for themselves, just like how Apple maximizes their products and just makes everything fine-tuned for themselves, making their product extremely unique and powerful. So this is what NIO is also working towards. And it'll be very hard for competitors to even offer things similar to what NIO is doing. So NIO is doing what NVIDIA, Intel, AMD, these companies are doing, making their own chips. Very crazy, very crazy. Of course, it's self-optimized, so NIO is capable of utilizing 100% of the capacity of the chip. I'm telling you, man, 5 nanometer chips, this itself is worth trillions. This itself is worth trillions of dollars. The Chinese government is absolutely going to love this. Well, they probably already got the news. They 100% love this. As for the American government, ooh, they might feel a little bit threatened. Yeah. I mean, like, this is groundbreaking, so they might feel a little bit threatened, huh? I hope the American government doesn't do anything stupid like sanction NIO or do some crazy shit like that just to push NIO down. Whenever somebody else threatens the status quo of American tech being the best, the US just pushes it down. When Huawei was getting very successful, they were selling a lot of phones, overtaking Apple. What does the US government do? They ban Huawei, sanction Huawei. This is just crazy. Of course, NIO knows that eventually, one day, their tech is going to be so good that it just blows everyone out of the water. All right, the cars are going to be so good that nobody else can compete with NIO's vehicles. And NIO knows that when that comes, the US is going to feel threatened. They're potentially going to sanction NIO just like what they did to Huawei. Try to do some like perverted stuff. But NIO knew that this was a possibility, and they're making things in-house so they can sanction whoever they want. It's not going to affect NIO because NIO's got self-developed chips worth trillions of dollars, guys. Do not sleep on this. You got the God chip now, man. This is the best thing that has happened to NIO since forever.